In this episode of the Locked On NBA Big Board Podcast, me and my brother James, we are going to share our thoughts on the preseason rookie debuts. We're going to cover Rob Dillingham, Alex Sarr, Tidjane Salaun, the rookies from the Phoenix Suns and the Oklahoma City Thunder, and Jazian Gortman had a big game for the Dallas Mavs last night. Stay tuned. Big shout out to each and every person that has made the Locked On NBA Big Board Podcast your first listen of the day. I am your host, Rafael Barlowe, the director of scouting for NBA Big Board. And like I mentioned in the open, my co-host for today is none other than my brother, James Barlowe. But before we get too deep into this episode, I want to let you know that it is sponsored by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. And if you are not subscribed to the YouTube channel, I don't know what's taking so long. Please subscribe, like, share, comment. We appreciate each and every subscription. So I'm joking when I say I don't know what's taking so long, but please subscribe. Like I said, like, share, comment. Make sure you click the bell so you can be notified every time we drop, because we are dropping an episode 5 days a week at the minimum. James, what up, man? How are you?
Allergies bother me, but you know what, man? I'm not going to be stopped. I'm inevitable.
Allergies? I mean, allergies can't affect you on the podcast.
Man, if I got to sneeze, he can't.
Get tough.
I'm good.
I'm glad that I don't have allergies. I know a lot of people move to Texas and they get them. I was just talking to somebody this weekend, and it was a mom of a parent, and she was like, her son never had allergies until they moved here about 2 years ago, and then my son, I see he got a little tear in his eye when he wakes up in the morning, dried snot. So I'm thankful I don't have allergies. But man, you can tough it out this episode.
Nah, man, I'm never day to day, man. I'm good. I'm power through it. I'm gonna get my 82 games in.
I see you rubbing your eye right now. All right, basketball season is back. At least NBA preseason. Of course, not all the guys are playing. I went to the Mavs game last night, and it was like, I didn't even see Luka at the game. Kyrie didn't play. Klay Thompson didn't play. Ja Morant did play. I want to say that was my first time. That might have been my first time actually watching Ja Morant play in person. I think he's been injured the last few times, but he's electric. But he's scary. Like, you feel like that the way he plays and how aggressive he is and his thin frame, you're like, is that sustainable for a long career?
Hope so.
Yeah, I hope so too, because he's excited to watch. But let's talk about the rookies. Rob Dillingham had a strong debut performance. Again, I know it's preseason. Rob, drew a lot of criticism for the way that he played in the summer league, but he had 21 points, 4 assists, 1 rebound against the Lakers. What were your thoughts on Rob's performance?
First, I thought he was good in summer league. He showed you he could make plays, and obviously he can get his own shot. The field goal percentage wasn't good, but you could just tell that he could play. That wasn't an issue. So as far as what he did against the Lakers, I mean, you talking to one of the captains of the Rob Dillingham fan club, like, he gets buckets. The change of pace, the quickness. We know he can shoot. We know he's creative. I saw he added the floater, which I've been asking him to do. Yeah. Got a couple shots blocked at the rim. That's expected, but I'm not worried about that long term. I think he's going to be fine. I think he's in a great position because he's going to come off the bench, provide instant offense. And, he's got Rudy behind him at some point to help him defensively. So all you ask for Rob, compete, do what you do. I'm a fan, so I wasn't surprised that he hooped.
Yeah, I have a friend of mine that's an NBA scout, and he's like anti-Rob Dillingham. Like, he thinks Rob is too small. And I mentioned him in an episode last week where he was saying that he doesn't think teams should draft these smaller guards unless they're dynamic. He said, unless he's Trae Young. And so I want to reach out to him. And because, even like last year when Rob was playing good, he would like listen to the podcast and be like, you guys are crazy. He's too small. He said he was 5'11", and then
Like
Rob ended up
6'2".
being taller. And so I think Rob is going to eventually prove him wrong. I mean, if he hadn't already. But yeah, I like the fact that he added a floater. That was something that was big. You can still see there's some struggles for him, like at the rim, finishing at the rim. But the stop and pop jumper, the way he can get to his spots, I think he's going to be fine. I don't think he's going to have to get all the way to the rim, especially if he continues to perfect the floater. But he made like pull up threes, catch and shoot threes. But I just love the way that he just was able to use his handle and his creativity to get to his spots, and his ability to like go full speed, stop, pull up, pop. I think that's going to be his bread and butter. But no, if I had to give Rob a grade, I mean, I at least give him an A minus. He struggled at the rim, had a few shots blocked, but no, I thought Rob was impressive.
I'm like I said, that's my guy right there. So I'm rooting for him. I think he's gonna be really, really, really good. I don't know if he'll get the usage. This is probably way too early for this, but I don't know if he's gonna get the usage to win Rookie of the Year. But if you play him like 18 minutes, he's gonna probably score 10 a game because he gets right to it.
Yeah, yep. Let's talk about Alex Sarr. Now, if I said that Rob Summer League was, a little rough.
That's what I'm saying. If Rob's Summer League was rough, then Alex Sarr was Appalachian Mountain Rocky because he looked terrible. But go ahead, do your thing.
Yeah, Sarr looked terrible in Summer League. And that's a strong word to use, but I just think it's the most accurate. But he bounced back 15 points, 4 assists, 3 rebounds. I was impressed. That was the Alex Sarr that I liked to see.
And yeah, so like he started off at the 4, played some 5. He on empty side, like you saw the athleticism. Jump shot looked good. I've been saying that he might have some butter fingers there, and he did bobble a pass real nasty in traffic. But if there's like no traffic there, especially like on the empty side pick and roll, he's gonna catch and he's gonna finish. But he looked a whole lot better, and I would have taken him number 1 if I was Atlanta, even with the questionable hands, and played him at the 5 because I think him and Trae Young would have been great. But like he's good, man.
He didn't want to go there. Remember, he was like, "Nah, I'm cool."
Okay, don't show up then. I dare you not to show up. Like, come on, man. Hey, you good, but you not Wemby. You not Zion. Where we just like, all right, we're not going to take him. Like, but that's another story. But no, like I thought Sarr was good. They got a lot of guys though, and you have to think that the Wizards are going to be sellers sooner than later. They already shut down Malcolm Brogdon. But Sarr was good, man. It was good to see him bounce back because people were really, really low on him from his Summer League performance.
Yeah, he drew a lot of criticism. But Summer League is going to be full of overreactions, whether they're good or bad. But he had some catch and shoot threes. I know he had a catch and shoot 3 at the top of the key. He made a corner 3, had some athletic finishes around the rim, had a nice tomahawk dunk. There was one play where I felt like he got a little overzealous. He was trying to ISO in the corner. Yeah. But I thought he played well. And I think for him, that's going to be huge considering just the way he looked in Summer League. Wasn't he like 0 for 15?
He was bad. He was like all-time bad. And he was just out there trying to dance with the rock and do too much. And he already couldn't make a shot. Yeah, but he bounced back, man. That's a good sign. That's the stuff you want to see. Like, confidence is everything. And it looks like he didn't let that bad stretch of games like hinder his confidence. Before we move on real quick, Rob, Keyshawn George has some moments too for the Wizards. He has some catch and shoot threes. I think he's going to be fine too. Big wing. I was a fan of his going into the draft cycle. So I think he'll be fine.
All right. The next player that we're going to talk about is Ron Holland, who had – on paper, he had a really good performance. I want to hear James's thoughts on Ron Holland's performance against the Bucks. Let's talk about FanDuel. Why? Because FanDuel is America's number 1 sports book. And that was the people at FanDuel calling me, telling me it's time to drop this ad. If you're an NFL fan, you can start the season with a big return on FanDuel, which is America's number 1 sports book. So when you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats. You can view live play-by-play and so much more. It's on the same page where you place your bets. You'll get started with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed. All you have to do is place your first $5 bet, and that's at FanDuel.com. All right, second segment, Ron Holland. What did you think about Ron's performance?
So he had a possession where he was clamping up, defended at a high level.
Talking about the possession where he picked Dillon Wright's pocket.
Yeah. He
like
could
at half court.
right at half court. He moved the ball on offense. That was good. He got his points in transition. That was typical Ron. But in the half court, man, he's still really, really raw on offense. He missed some jumpers. I think he missed all of his jumpers.
Yep.
And then just like it's just straight line, no pace in the half court. And he took some tough shots. But he's gonna defend at a high level. Their spacing looks a whole lot better this year compared to last year. I know it was just a preseason game, but I think there was a time on the court where it was
Beasley, Hardaway Jr.,
Ron, Cade, and a big, and that's night and day compared to what they had now. Sarr didn't play, I don't believe.
No.
So yeah, but no, Ron in transition is good. Ron in the half court is still going to be a work in progress. But I mean, the box score looks great.
Yeah, they started Cade Cunningham, Jaden Ivey, Fontecchio, Duran, Hardaway Jr., and then Beasley played 20 minutes. But Ron had 10 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, was 4 of 10 from the floor, 0 for 3 from deep. And just like some of the notes that I had on Ron during the game, he had he was good in transition, like you said. He didn't make a tough fadeaway floater. He drew fouls in transition. I talked about him picking Dillon Wright's pocket at half court, had the nice Euro step finish, but he missed all of his wide open catch and shoot threes. There was one play where it was, it's just you have to take the good and the bad with Ron. There was a play where someone missed a shot. He got the rebound probably like a little bit inside the free throw line. All 5 Bucks defenders were back. There was one Piston ahead of him, and he tried to split like 4 defenders. Like the I don't know if part of me wants to say, maybe the guys from Detroit weren't sprinting back on offense, but then there's not too many guys that are as fast as Ron with the ball. And so there was a play where he just got a little bit overzealous and tried to split 4 defenders in transition. And then he picked up a travel when there was like an open catch and shoot 3 that he should have shot. And then he went to drive to the rim. But overall, I think if you're Detroit, you have to be pleased with the performance from him because he was plus 25. Plus 25, and it's like 22 minutes. So I thought Ron Holland played good. All right, let's talk about Terrence Shannon Jr. We talked about Rob Dillingham. Terrence Shannon Jr. also had a pretty good game for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Guy who, based off of his performance, he thought maybe he could have been a lottery pick. But he had 14 points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds, had this crazy athletic play. And you say he traveled. I think it was Max Christie on the floor that said he traveled. But the Euro step into a tomahawk dunk,
I mean,
that is crazy athletic.
It's athletic, but with that extra step, man, you can defy gravity, man.
Not too many people can still do that, though. The Euro step into the tomahawk,
I mean,
I don't care with the extra step or not. That athleticism was impressive to me.
That last step was on PEDs, man. He definitely violated. But Terrence Shannon can hoop, man. I mean, he does it. He gets right to it. Him and Rob off the bench, they get right to it. You can't. My only thing with him this year is that he is a scorer. He's going to do what he has to do. But this is a team that's, they made it to the conference finals last year, and they made a move. Lateral move, whatever direction you want to call it, like they made a move to still try to contend. And, they brought in DiVincenzo. DiVincenzo doesn't miss ever since he did his bid in Golden State. And then also they got Nickeil Walker-Alexander Alexander Walker, not NWA's, no. So
No, yeah.
yeah, it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be hard to get minutes in Minnesota on the wing, but
And you
he's
got
gonna
Josh Minot, who played
Josh.
really well that game.
Yeah, and I think it's gonna be hard to get minutes, even though he's really really good. But he was hooping, man.
He's in a weird spot to me. One, because he's not a 19-year-old rookie. I mean, he did 4 years. He's too good for the G League. He's going to
Exactly.
average 30 a game in the G League. I mean, he
Exactly.
was averaging the numbers he was putting up at the end of the season, I think he scored like over 100 points in the Big Ten tournament. He was phenomenal at the end of the year. And I think even with the G League, faster pace than the Big Ten,
But more space too.
more minutes, more possessions. I think if he's in the G League, he's going to average 30 a game. But
Yeah.
then you're kind of like, all right, is that the role you're going to play in the NBA? So if you send him to the G League, what are you telling him? Hey, work on your catch and shoot threes. Don't be you.
Then don't go to the G League.
But then if he doesn't go to the G League based off of their roster, then where is he going to get the minutes? I think he's in a weird predicament.
I agree, but I don't think working on your catch and shoot three in the G League when you just look down the bench and be like, "Yo, I'm better than everybody here." Like, why am I just kind of like boxing myself into a role? I get it; that's the role you're gonna play, but at the same time, I think he's gonna end up being like a Norman Powell. Like Norman Powell has a burner, right? He was like one of the best corner 3-point shooters in the NBA last year, but through and through, he's a scorer.
Yeah.
So I think he's going to end up being like that. And I know it took Norman a few years to like crack that Raptors rotation, but I think that's how Terrence Shannon is going to be.
Interesting. Yeah, I just think, he's a respectable shooter, which is crazy. His freshman year at Texas Tech, he didn't want to shoot the ball at all. I feel like his game has changed so much. He's always been super athletic, but his freshman year at Texas Tech, he was like a rebound hustle guy. Now he's added, I don't even want to say he's added a bag to his game. It's just, he's just so fast and athletic and the straight line, and he just finds a way to put the ball in the basket. So, yeah, like I said, he's a guy that I'm going to be tracking all year just to see what happens. Again, G League, playing the way he plays, 30 points per game. Then with the Wolves, is there going to be enough minutes? So it's going to be interesting. All right, before we get into the last segment, did you get a chance to watch the Suns Lakers rookies?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, when we return, we got to talk about Ryan Dunn, a guy who I remember you saying, I don't even know if he can feel his fingers. And we talked about how bad of a shooter he is. The fact that he took, this is the part that tripped me out. I was watching the game and I saw him make a three, and I was like, wait, is that Ryan Dunn? He was confident letting it fly. But here's a part I want to talk to you about in the last segment. He took 8 shots. He was 3 of 8 from the floor, 2 for 6 from 3. With Ryan Dunn taking 6 of his 8 shots from 3, I don't know if that is the formula to success. When we return, we're going to talk about Ryan Dunn shooting a lot of threes, and also we're going to talk about Oso Ighodaro, who had a good game. And then we're going to also wrap up talking about the Oklahoma City Thunder rookies, who combined for a little less than 40 points in their game against the San Antonio Spurs. But let's talk about Game Time. Why? Game Time is my favorite app when it comes to purchasing tickets. And it's not just for sporting events. I was looking a couple of days ago for tickets to Paw Patrol Live, because Paw Patrol Live is coming to Dallas, and I got a 2-year-old son. He loves Paw Patrol. And so when I was looking for tickets, the first place I went is to Game Time. And what I love about Game Time is that they have this feature where you have all-in prices. All you have to do is toggle the feature, and you see the full price up front, no surprise fees at checkout, and you get a panoramic view from your seat in the app before you buy, so you know exactly where you're going to sit, you know your view. And Game Time has the lowest price guarantee. If not, they will credit you 110% of the difference. Your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code Locked On NBA, and you can get $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account. Use the redeem code LOCKEDON NBA for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game time. All right, let's go back to Ryan Dunn. What were your thoughts about Ryan Dunn?
I mean, like, what other shots do you expect him to take? Like, he's a
corner boy. I mean,
he's a corner boy, man. He's gonna stand in the corner and he's gonna shoot. And look, he didn't shoot the ball well. His third field goal was a leak out dunk at the end of the game, so he probably shouldn't even count that. But like, I like that he was confident.
He was confident. He was letting it fly with confidence.
He couldn't feel his fingers last year, and he's starting to get some feeling in his hands, and that's a good sign. And it looks like he's a dude that's trusting the work that he's been trying to put in. Again, I think it was Swish Culture. Somebody put out a little mixtape of him working out with the Suns, and he was cooking. And I was like, man, is he going to even try any of that stuff in the game? He did put the ball on the ground one possession. I think Cam Reddish blocked his jumper. But he's going to have to make threes to play. Like, it just is what it is. And I'd rather you go out there and shoot 8 of them in a preseason game than only shoot 2 because you're scared. Because there were times at Virginia where he just didn't have any confidence and he wouldn't shoot. So I'm okay with it. And if he ends up being like a formidable shooter, man, I go buy a Ryan Dunn jersey and wear it on the podcast.
I mean, my comparison was at least defensively like Jared Vanderbilt. Not the same player because Jared Vanderbilt was playing point forward in high school and a little bit at Kentucky. But here's something crazy to me. Again, I'm still tripping off the fact that Ryan Dunn attempted 6 threes. He was 2 of 6. So he made 2 threes in a preseason game. He only made 5 threes out of 16 attempts his freshman year. And as a sophomore, he made 7. So he was 12 of 51 from 3. To
trending in the right direction, man. He's already.
But you know what though? I thought when I did like a scouting report on him coming into his sophomore year, I thought that there was a chance for him to show signs as a 3-point shooter. He shot 31% as a freshman, but he seemed more confident. But then I was like, dude shot 50% from the foul line as a freshman. As a sophomore, he shot 53% from the free throw line and only 20% from 3. So if your free throw percentage and 3-point percentage is combined like 73, I don't want to see you shooting the ball.
What else is he? Look, you got to play offense, man.
Well, I thought, as a role man, he is athletic enough to where you can play him as like a rim roller. I mean, I could be wrong. So, but yeah, I thought that was interesting. And then what did you think about Ighodaro? I liked him coming out of Marquette. I thought he was, at this time last year, I thought he was a first-round pick. Then as the season went on, I felt like he was pretty much the same player, didn't make like the improvements that I wanted to see him make. No shots really outside the paint. The floater is money. Wasn't like a great rebounder, but he looks like he's going to have a role in the Suns offense.
My thing with him is that if he could be a better rebounder, I think that you could essentially get a lot of what you get, have Plumlee out there for. You can get that in him because Plumlee can pass. Plumlee's a rim finisher. Plumlee rebounds. Somehow Plumlee's got like a 40-something inch vertical, but he doesn't bang on people.
I don't know. I've seen him dunk backwards.
He will dunk backwards, but like he should have like a mean mixtape of dunks. But this is not the Mason Plumlee podcast. But Ighodaro looked really good. Like you said, the rebounding, and it's not the rebounding, the playmaking, his guys on those backdoor cuts. I think when he does crack that rotation, I think him and Bradley Beal 2-man game is going to be pretty good. I think him and a Devin Booker 2-man game is going to be good because he can pass. And those guys, he will create shots for them, playing with them off the ball as cutters because they want to come downhill and get to the meat. But Ighodaro is good, man. And it'd be, they got 3 centers. If he rebounded more, I think he would like really crack the rotation and get some minutes.
Yeah, he had 4 assists.
Yes.
Yeah. No, 4 rebounds, 5 assists. So, yeah, I thought he played. Well. Let's go back into the early part of the first round. Tidjane Salaun, 15 points versus the Knicks. What did you think about his performance?
Shot the ball well.
It was Tidjane.
He's not shy, man. Not at all. It's almost like I don't know if that's good or bad, because if he touches the ball, it's going up every single time. And I still think he does some funny stuff with his feet in the catch, especially when you like make him put the ball on the ground. Putting the ball on the ground was kind of an adventure. How many threes did he hit? 3?
Hey, I
It
think
was
he had
3 or
3
4.
threes.
Yeah,
But he had some moments putting the ball on the ground.
man, it just doesn't look natural to me at all.
Did you see that Magic Johnson running hook?
Exactly.
It wasn't the Magic Johnson running sky hook, but it was like a Magic Johnson half hook floater touch shot. I thought that was pretty interesting, especially
Yeah.
for him coming off like a pin down, and he got the ball, came middle, and it just, like you said, it doesn't look natural. It's not pretty. He's a guy that he wants to score. He's wired to score as soon as he touches the ball.
I think he's wired to shoot, not
But
score.
if the shot isn't there, like, all right, he's putting the ball on the ground and he's gonna shoot the ball.
Yes.
It's not a lot of pace. It's very confident, I should say.
Yeah.
I would like to see him add some pace. I'd like to see him add some passing, but I just want to see him rebound.
Yeah, he's extremely raw. Again, in pick and pop situations, it's going up. But after you chase him off the line, man, it's going to be a mixed bag of results of what he's going to do, what kind of shot he's going to take. He's probably not going to pass, but he's young, so there's time. Yeah. And I think he'll spend time in the G for sure.
Yeah, I had the graphic wrong, but he had 11 points, 1 rebound, 0 assists in 22 minutes, but he was 4 of 8 from the floor and 3 of 5 from 3. I thought there were some moments, but I would just love to see him become a better rebounder, shot blocker, because he has the length and athleticism to do that. But it's all, hey, if I touch it, it's hot potato. It is hot potato. All right, let's talk about the Oklahoma City Thunder rookies. Dillon Jones is a guy that I liked, but then I didn't like. When I say I liked him, I liked his game. I like the fact that he's like this bruiser with skills, but I didn't know how his game would translate to the NBA because he had such a heavy usage role at Weber State. He looked good in summer league, proved me wrong, and then last night against the Spurs, 17 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. And when I say the midi was falling yesterday, I mean, it looked easy. He scored driving to the rim. He had a 3 from a dribble handoff. He had multiple isolation pull-up jumpers. He had one on the baseline. He had one on the elbow. I mean, the pull-up jumper was falling. Do you think did you think a guy that was like a heavy usage ball handler who relied on mid-range pull-ups would be or can be effective in the NBA?
So
in a reduced role.
I wasn't as high on him for those same reasons, because it's like, how does this translate? He's like a 6'5" point forward that can't shoot threes, and he was hooping in summer league. Now he's older, and I don't know, Rob. It's like I still have concerns because, again, the midi was there, all of that was working, but the personnel, maybe I'm hating, but the personnel out there calls for him to have a high usage role. Because, again, he did his work, I believe, in the third quarter. And that's when, I don't know these kids' names, one of the Jalen Williamses didn't play in the third quarter, right? So he got to it. He can hoop. Can he hoop and fit in on the team with championship aspirations? It's almost similar to Terrence Shannon, right? It's not about their talent. what is going to work in a scaled down role for these guys? So that's my question about Dillon Jones.
I think whatever minutes Usman Jang thought he was going to get, I
Oh, those
think
are
they're going to
gone.
pass him up in the rotation. He just I just think he's a better player right now.
Yeah.
Usman was, sexier because he was younger and he had some tools that people like. But no, I think Dillon Jones is going to find a way to get some minutes in this rotation. I think he's going to figure it out. They got a lot of players. It's like you look at the guys that played. I mean, Hartenstein didn't start, Caruso didn't start, Isaiah Joe, and then you figure like SGA didn't play. I think he's still going to find a way. But here's another guy that I was really impressed with for the Oklahoma City Thunder. Ajay Mitchell. I should have went with my gut instincts. I had him as a first round pick the whole season long, and then right
Why?
around draft time, I moved him down to the second round because I thought.
Why did you not listen to me?
I just thought some of the younger guys that were trending up that you were hearing about, like for example, Bub Carrington moved up. Now AJ did go second round, like I thought he would, but hey, man, he looked every
He
bit
was
of
a
the. Huh?
first round pick. He's a first round talent.
Yeah, but he fell to 38. So I was right about him falling to the second round, but he is going to, without a doubt, in my opinion, have a better season than quite a few first round picks. He had 19 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists. And when I say he was getting to the money in the paint, like the majority of his points came in the paint. And that's what he did in college. Like he could shoot. He was an efficient shooter in college. But what I liked about him was that he didn't like force shots. Now he was 1 of 4 from 3, but overall he was 8 of 13 from the floor. So that lets you know that inside that paint it was money.
I'm gonna push back on you. I don't know if he's gonna have a better. He's not gonna have a better rookie season than other guys. He's on a two way for one,
Then
and
some first round picks.
I don't. But here's the thing, though. Where does he get minutes at? They got Shea, they got Caruso, they got Kaysen, they got Isaiah Joe, they got Dort, they got Jalen Williams, and you got to think some of those minutes at the 4 that he was playing, those get pushed to 2 and 3 minutes because now you can play Chet and you can play Hartenstein, excuse me. I don't want to mess up the African King's name.
That's not an African name.
He black, but anyway, like I don't know where
his
AJ Mitchell his minutes are gonna come from, and I'm like, I had him as a first round grade. I think Milwaukee should have taken him. I was kind of on the fence with the whole Terrence Shannon thing, and as far as his availability, but I think he would have worked in Minnesota. Now, obviously, Minnesota got 2 guards, so they were going in that direction. But I think Milwaukee should have taken him. I had it as a first round grade the entire year. I thought Denver was a possibility. They went big. Homeboy got hurt, unfortunately. But I just don't see the minutes for AJ Mitchell. And he can hoop flat out. He gets to the basket. He finishes at a high clip. 3-ball didn't fall, but like he can play. Free AJ Mitchell. That's crazy to say about a rookie, but like free him. He's going to be in the G. He's too good for the G League, right?
Yeah.
Where's he going to get minutes at?
Yeah, that's. I mean, the NBA season is long. Usually, there's a situation where somebody gets hurt, but I do think that there is going to be an uphill battle for him to get minutes. But I still think that there's going to be some guys that are selected in the first round that aren't going to play. And then we forgot that they still got Topic, who they're going to bring in next year. So
free AJ Mitchell.
We're saying free AJ Mitchell in this preseason. All right, last player I want to talk about is a player that he went to OTE. I actually spoke with him at Mavs Media Day. Relatively unknown in a sense. Jazian Gortman. He showed some flashes at the end of Summer League last year. Had like some 3 good games once he got some playing time. And then I was at the game last night. 19 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. He had 9 points in the first quarter. Played well. I think that he's going to get converted into a 2-way, but he's someone that I think is going to have a big year in the G League, and then maybe he can find some minutes in the future with the Mavericks. Maybe he could be their, I guess, backup point guard of the future. I know.
So I didn't get to watch the game last night. How was Gortman scoring? Because what does it look like?
Man, he was making threes. He was very, very confident. I mean, there was a couple plays where he had bombs or grenades at the end of the shot clock, and he was fine with that. He was picking up. He was like being a pest. But yeah, he had 19 points. He was 7 of 13 from the floor and 4 of 7 from 3. Now he did pick up 5 fouls, but I thought that he made a name for himself. I definitely think it's going to get converted into a two-way. But, you know, in the preseason, it's not all about the team you're playing for. There's other teams that are watching. So I thought that, you know, the momentum that he had coming in at the end of Summer League, I thought he carried that over in the preseason. So we'll see what happens. I mean, they play Utah on Thursday. I doubt if Kyrie plays, but it's a name to look out for. Well, that wraps up this episode of the Locked On NBA Big Board Podcast. We covered quite a few guys, and, you know, basketball season is here, so we'll have a few more of these rookie episodes until college basketball starts, because we are under 30 days, about 27, 28 days, if I'm not mistaken. But once again, thank you for making the Locked On NBA Big Board Podcast your first listen of the day. For your second listen, find Locked On Fantasy Basketball, and you can become a fantasy basketball expert and get the edge over your league with daily tips from Josh Lloyd. Find Locked On Fantasy Basketball on YouTube or wherever you get your podcast. Once again, it's Rafael with my brother James. We are out of here.